Welcome to Quiz channel. In this video, we'll understand what a large language model, or LLM, actually is, how it works behind the scenes, and why it has become such an important part of modern AI. As we go step by step, you'll also get quizzes in between to test your understanding in an interactive way. A large language model, or LLM, is an advanced AI system trained to work with language. It studies huge amounts of text and learns patterns like grammar, meaning, and context. Because of that, it can generate human-like responses instead of just matching fixed rules. In simple words, it is a model that has learned how language usually works. LLMs are useful because they can do many language tasks from the same core training. They can answer questions, write emails or articles, translate between languages, and improve grammar. Some modern models are also multimodal, which means they can work with text, images, and sometimes voice. That is why they feel much more flexible than older AI systems. The big jump in capability comes from scale. LLMs are trained on massive datasets and use billions of parameters, which are like internal adjustable settings that help the model learn. With more data and more parameters, the model can capture richer patterns and relationships in language. This is one major reason AI conversations today feel far more natural than before. Today, there are several well-known LLMs in use. Examples include ChatGPT from OpenAI, Gemini from Google, and Claude from Anthropic. Each model has its own strengths, such as dialogue, long context reasoning, or safety-focused design. So that covers the basic idea of what LLMs are and why they matter. Now that we've covered LLM basics, let's test what we've learned so far.
Here's quiz number 1. See if you can get it right.
Question 1. What is the main purpose of a large language model? The correct answer is to process and generate human-like text. LLMs are designed to understand and generate language-like responses. Their core strength is working with text and context. Question 2. Why are LLMs considered powerful compared to older systems? The correct answer is they train on massive data with many parameters. Large datasets and billions of parameters help LLMs learn rich language patterns. This makes their outputs more flexible and natural. Question 3. Which of the following is an example of a modern LLM? The correct answer is Claude. Claude is a well-known LLM from Anthropic. The other options are not language models. Most modern LLMs are built on the transformer architecture. This design is very effective at understanding how words relate to one another, even when they are far apart in a sentence or paragraph. That ability helps the model maintain context and produce more meaningful responses. In short, transformers are the foundation that made today's LLMs practical and powerful. A model cannot directly understand plain text the way humans read it, so the text is first converted into numbers called embeddings. These embeddings represent tokens in a form the model can process mathematically. Then positional encoding is added so the model knows the order of words, because sequence matters a lot in language. Without position information, many sentences would lose their actual meaning. Self-attention is one of the most important ideas in LLMs. It helps the model decide which words should influence each other based on context. Multi-head attention goes a step further by looking at several kinds of relationships in parallel, while feed-forward layers help refine the learned patterns. Together, these components help the model understand meaning much more deeply. Once the model has processed the input, it starts generating output token by token. Each next token is chosen based on the earlier words and the context learned from the input. This step-by-step decoding is why responses appear as a sequence rather than all at once. Now that we understand the working flow, the basic mechanism of an LLM is complete. Now that we've covered LLM working, let's test what we've learned so far.
Here's quiz number 2. See if you can get it right.
Question 1. What is the main architecture behind most modern LLMs? The correct answer is transformer architecture. Modern LLMs are primarily built on transformers. This architecture is strong at handling context and long-range relationships. Question 2. Why is positional encoding added to embeddings? The correct answer is to add word order information. Embeddings represent tokens, but positional encoding tells the model where each token appears in the sequence. This is essential for understanding sentence meaning. Question 3. What does self-attention help an LLM do? The correct answer is understand relationships between words. Self-attention allows the model to weigh how strongly words relate to one another in context. That is a key reason LLMs generate coherent responses. There are many important LLM families in the current AI landscape. GPT-4 and GPT-4o are known for strong reasoning and multimodal capabilities, while Gemini 1.5 is noted for very long context handling. Claude 3 focuses heavily on reasoning quality and safety, and open models like Llama 3 and Mistral are widely used in research and startups. Different models are preferred depending on the task and deployment needs. In real-world use, LLMs are extremely versatile. Developers use them for code generation, debugging support, and documentation writing. General users rely on them for question answering, translation, grammar correction, and content creation. Prompt-based interaction also makes them useful in one-shot and zero-shot scenarios, where they can attempt tasks with little or no task-specific retraining. LLMs offer major advantages, including scalability, flexibility, and the ability to perform new tasks with minimal examples. They can save human effort by automating repetitive language work across education, business, healthcare, and research. At the same time, they come with serious challenges like high training cost, long development time, data quality issues, environmental impact, and ethical concerns such as bias or misinformation. So that wraps up both the promise and the limitations of LLMs. Now that we've covered models and uses, let's test what we've learned so far.
Here's quiz number 3. See if you can get it right.
Question 1. Which model is especially known for long context reasoning in the article? The correct answer is Gemini 1.5. The article highlights Gemini 1.5 for handling very long context windows. That makes it notable for long context reasoning tasks. Question 2. Which is a practical use case of LLMs mentioned in the article? The correct answer is code generation from instructions. The article specifically mentions code generation, debugging, documentation, translation, and question answering. These are common LLM applications. Question 3. Which of the following is a major challenge of LLMs? The correct answer is high training cost and ethical concerns. LLMs can be expensive to train and raise issues like bias, misinformation, and environmental impact. These are important limitations to understand. Today you learned the full picture of large language models, from their basic idea to their working applications, benefits, and risks. Hope you also checked how well you understood the topic through the quizzes. If you enjoyed this interactive learning style, do like, share, and subscribe to Explaquiz channel.